Okay, so in this section, we're going to attack the content method of creating writing. Writing is probably one of the most powerful, I think. I think video, of course, is the most powerful as far as being found. Written is probably, it's up there. And even if you're watching any video, most videos are optimized through some kind of wording, whether it's in the description of the videos, whether it's in the titles, whether it's in just choosing the little hack, which is closed captioning, which also gets ranked by Google as well. And it's written, it's writing, it's all forms of it. And I think that it's for me as a disclaimer, it's probably one of my weakest forms when it comes to three forms of content creation. The weakest one for me is writing, but that doesn't make it any bit not as important because it's probably number one for being found. You have to have some kind of writing. I can't just post a YouTube video with no title, no description. No one will see it probably. So it's about writing, and writing is important because writing's been here for a long time. When you think about video and audio, this stuff has maybe been around 100 years, but writing has been around for thousands of years. Anything we know about the past is because it was written down somewhere, whether that goes from the written stuff inside of caves to scrolls, anything like this. It was all written down. So writing is very powerful, and it will never go anywhere. As much as bookstores are closing and going out, they're still, even though everything's moved electronically, it's still written. People are still writing books. So writing is very powerful, and it's very important to understand that because the content you put out to be found requires some sort of writing, no matter which other route you take. And to give you an example, let's say YouTube. I put a YouTube video out there. The title matters. Like, it matters a lot. The description that I put in that YouTube video, as bad as I am at it, that matters. That goes into the rankings and how people find you. And because we're living in an era where everything goes online, it's important to have writing. A lot of times the videos that I had that haven't done well or as well as I thought they should, it's always been the title. It hasn't been the quality of the video, it's been the title. I've changed the name up, and all of a sudden now I see it's like, okay, it's good. Now it's being found. And I think that's something that's very important. So when it comes to writing, there's a lot of things that you can do, and no matter what you do, there's going to be writing incorporated in it. But if you want to go down the route of the blogs, the writing, the journaling, all this kind of stuff, I think that it is a great way to be found. It's a great way that to build, if it's timeless writing, it's about how you feel or how to deal with stuff. If it's timeless, then it's something that's very powerful because people can always find it. And it should always be linked into the things that you do. So remember, if you guys listened to you watched the last lesson, I said the 1-2 method. It means you always have to have both. You have to have two forms of it at all times. You don't need the three forms of content, but you always need two. And one of those should always be writing. As crazy as it sounds, one of them should always be writing. So if writing is your strong point, that's great. But you have to combine that with the second part, with the audio or with the video. Or of course pictures as well, but I can put picture/video very similar. So basically when you look at platforms, let's say you love writing and you're not so great at speaking in front of the camera like this. What you do is you still speak very simply. I can talk on here for 4 minutes about something that I wrote about, literally talk about explaining it. But everything you wrote, put that in the description of the video. So that 4,000 words, I think you get 5,000 words on YouTube, for example, put it all in the description because it will be found and people can search and find it through that. Some of the best videos I've had, especially early on when I didn't have that many people watching my channel, was because I just decided a basketball video I made helping people. I literally just wrote everything out in the description and it did great right away. And because it was found, it was ranked. And when it comes to the internet, keywords, SEO, all of this are connected to words. They're all connected to words. So when people are optimizing people's YouTube channels, for example, they're going and changing the titles, they're changing the keywords. And this stuff is very important. So if you can get good at writing, it's something like I say, it's not my strong point, but it's something that's important. Something as important as if you the 1-2 method, remember the 1-2 method, if you put that with podcasts, let's say you're not good at video, you want to do audio, and you have writing as your strong point, you make a simple podcast. We'll have a mastermind on how to make a podcast and how the best ways to go about it and do it. But simple podcast, in the show notes, you want to be writing. If you don't know what to write, then have someone transcribe the entire show and put that under it. That will be even better because you can't actually search for podcasts. Just if you're looking for something, it's not ranked on what you say. But the words that you have written down are very important because those do get ranked. It does allow people to find you. So when it comes to writing, writing is important. Writing's not going anywhere. And even though it's not your strongest fit, it needs to be incorporated with what you do. If you guys have a YouTube channel, you need to be writing the description. You need to be writing. It sucks. I don't like doing it, but even now, I still realize like I have to just write something. 4 or 5 minutes explaining something in the description. You have to write. And for those of y'all who love writing, there's plenty of ways for you guys to put content out there. You have all kinds of blogs. You have different sites. A lot of the hacks that I talk about are using the social platforms that you wouldn't think would be for writing, like Instagram, and having a picture of that coconut and then just writing a huge description about it. Doesn't matter the picture. It matters what you're saying in there. And if you can say things that bring value and can help a lot of people, then you're set. So writing is powerful because that's what gets you found. If I could sum this video up in one thing, it would be videos get you found. And if you're not incorporating writing into your videos, into your podcast, then you're leaving a lot on the table. You're relying on people just lucky that they find you. They're being lucky just to be able to find you because you're not being ranked necessarily. Of course, there might be tricks and hacks and things like that, linking people, backlinking people to it. But if you want to be discovered on there, you got to have some form of writing. So understanding that writing is powerful, that no matter what it is that you decide to use, writing should always be one of them because it will allow you to be ranked. And when you're ranked, you're found. And when you're found, you have attention. And if you guys know about attention or anything like that when it comes to the internet, money follows attention. So one thing that you need to understand is that you're making your content to think ahead of it. Like, what am I going to write about this? Maybe it's something, a little story, or maybe changing the context. So as I'm cutting up a coconut, and I just want to say, this is a coconut that I liked. And that's the caption I'm putting on it. Maybe being like, wow, this is a coconut found in Bali, Indonesia. And I find it on the road. You can find them in palm trees everywhere. It's one of my favorite coconuts that I like is found in this section of Bali. So basically, as you said that, those words are being ranked now. Bali, Indonesia, coconut, palm tree. These are being ranked. So, it will take time. Of course, it takes a lot more than that. But you've made something that is searchable. And now it's searchable online. So now you can also put that in the description of a YouTube video when you want to talk about coconuts. Incorporate the writing in the YouTube, in the description. It's something that I wish I would have done more so than now. But with the consistency rate that I was putting things out, it would have been a little bit too much for me. But never underestimate the power of writing, because writing should be incorporated in everything, because writing is what allows you to be ranked, and being ranked allows you to be found. So that would be my thoughts on just the writing section. Of course, it is not my strong point, so I don't feel, it wouldn't be right for me to say, do this on writing, do this on writing, do this on writing. I just know to share things the best I can with writing. And the reason I do it is because it allows people to find me. And at the same time, a lot of people can prefer to consume in a writing situation and by reading. So don't underestimate writing just because you're not good at it. It's very important to be found. And we all want to be found because we all want people to see the content that we're producing.